Now, here is the thing about a solo trip, especially internationally. When you travel by yourself, and this was like the ultimate people pleasing, it felt like this was the test, right? Like I've been working myself up for years, going to dinner by myself, going to brunch by myself, going to the movies by myself. I had even gone to a concert by myself. So I was very comfortable with being in my own company. I was very comfortable with being by myself, right? People will tell me all the time, Tanisha, you do not look like a people pleaser. I can't believe you used to be a people pleaser. You seem to have really good boundaries. But what they don't see are the years of the silent battles that I faced and the years of me doing the work to no longer be a people pleaser, to be the person that you see today before you. And today, I am making that journey public. Okay? Your girl is on YouTube. And the reason I'm finally being vocal about this is that I realize that there are people that are still where I used to be, and I would love for you to get to where I am today. And in order to do that, I feel like I have to share my journey. On this page, I'm showing you exactly how I've built this life and how I'm continuing to build this life is no longer being a people pleaser. Wait a minute, first of all, let me introduce myself. How rude of me. My name is Tanisha Rashay. And if you have clicked on this video, if you are on this channel, if you have subscribed, if you have liked, if you are already watching my shorts, hey friend, I see you. This page is all about self-love, self-improvement, self-growth, learning how to stop being a people pleaser, prioritizing yourself, and putting yourself first. So if that is something that is interesting to you, if that is something that you are wanting to do, if that is something that you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to people please anymore. I want to learn how to set boundaries. I want to learn how to prioritize myself. I want to learn how to love myself more. I want to learn how to improve my life more. I'm your girl. Okay, this is the right place for you. So make sure you subscribe and like this video. One, it shows the algorithm that you're interested in this video. And honestly, it just makes your girl feel good, okay? Make sure you show me some love. Now, I want to take you back to a pivotal moment in my life that happened just a few years ago where the old me would have folded. But the new me, oh, she stood her ground. So what did my life look like a few years ago? A few years ago, my life looked like someone who was terrified to say no. I was exhausted. I was resentful. I was letting everyone else make decisions for me. I was a person who was always accommodating others. I was missing out on events. I was missing out on concerts. I was missing out on movies I wanted to see. I was missing out on a lot of things that I personally enjoyed because I was waiting for people. I was waiting on my friends. I was waiting on a person to say they would go with me. I was waiting for a romantic partner, a significant other to join me and do certain things with me. All of that changed when I had a milestone birthday that happened a few years ago. I did something that the old me, oh, the old me would have been shaking in her boots. Okay, the old me would have been terrified. Yeah, I did a few road trips, a few staycations in nearby hotels and things like that. But I wanted to make this something big. I wanted to do something that really was going to stretch me and challenge me because I had to reframe anything that scares me. Now I look at it as an opportunity to grow. So I wanted to do something that I would enjoy, but also challenge me and stretch me and kind of push me to a new level, right?
I said I want something big. I want something that says I'm here. Beyoncé.
So I thought, I'm going to book a trip and go out of the country. Now, before you say, Tanisha, that's not a big deal to go out of the country. I had never been out of the country before. I had never been out of the country. So I was booking a trip to go out of the country and to go out of the country by myself. Let's just pause for that. By myself. I decided to take a solo trip internationally to a country I had never been to before. I went to London and I went to Amsterdam. Yes, London is absolutely English speaking. Amsterdam, English is one of their languages, but a lot of their signs, it's Dutch. And I only speak English. Little small taste of Spanish. I didn't make a group chat. Hey, who wants to go to London? Hey, who wants to go to Amsterdam? Hey guys, I'm thinking of doing this for my birthday. Anybody want to come with me? I didn't ask for anyone's permission. I didn't get anyone's opinions on if they wanted to go, if they didn't want to go. I didn't ask any of that. The flights were booked by the time I told my parents. I did not consult anyone as far as should I do this, should I not? Was I scared? Oh, absolutely I was scared. But I did it anyway. And I planned everything myself. I did not have a travel agent. I didn't use a travel company. I didn't have, no advisors or anything like that. I went by myself from the hotel to the places I went to the the attractions I went to the restaurants I ate at, to even the walking path. I had the details down to a T, for I'm going from here to here to here. I had a whole itinerary. If you want to know how I planned my whole London and Amsterdam trip without a travel advisor, without any outside help or anything, I did the research. So let me know. I can make a whole nother video about that, because I had a great time. Now, here's the thing about a solo trip, especially internationally. When you travel by yourself, and this was like the ultimate people pleasing, it felt like this was the test, right? I've been working myself up for years, going to dinner by myself, going to brunch by myself, going to the movies by myself. I had even gone to a concert by myself. So I was very comfortable with being in my own company. I was very comfortable with being by myself, right? Here's the thing. If this trip sucks, guess who planned it? I did. So if I don't have a good time on this trip, I can't blame anybody but me. The only opinion that mattered on that trip was mine. If you think you are a people pleaser, you're a little worried about you always need external validation, go somewhere by yourself. There's no one else you can rely on except yourself. Because my approval was the only one that matters. No one else's. No outside opinions, no external opinions. Now, I was very safe. There was people at my location. There were people who kind of had my, where I was staying and where I was going and the days I would leave and things like that. Like, I wasn't just out there and nobody knew where I was in the world or anything. I was still safe. I was still smart. If you want to know the details of how I went into planning that entire solo trip on my own, let me know. I can make an entire different video for that. That's not a problem. Now, here's the thing. Had a great time on that trip, right? I'm out there for I think like a good week. And when I landed these United States of America, oh, it was game on. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me a thing, because I was so sure of myself. I was so confident within myself. I had so much confidence. And not to say that I didn't have confidence before, but what I'm saying is that when you have to rely only on yourself and only on your approval, you have to trust yourself. You have to go with those gut instincts. You have to listen to that intuition. I get back, and I had a friend at the time reached out to me. I was like, hey, like, I would love to, take you to brunch. Let's go to brunch, for your birthday. I know it was, a month ago, but like, I still want to celebrate you. And you may be like, okay, why is that a big deal that they reached out to you? Because I had gotten to the point in my life where I was no longer begging for friendships. I was no longer begging for someone to be my friend. I was no longer begging for people to hang out with me, because if I had to keep asking multiple times, but when are you free? Or when are you free? Or when do you do it? It felt like it's one-sided, And that's a whole nother thing, because me personally, I feel like friendship breakups are worse than romantic breakups. Don't come for me. That's my opinion, okay? That's my opinion. That's just what I think. Friend reaches out to me. They say they want to do brunch. I was like, okay, great. The morning of, I text that person like, hey, we still on for brunch at this time, this place, whatever. And they were like, yeah. It's a little brunch outing, so I want to get a little more zhuzh than usual. So I want to, wash my hair, straighten my hair. And if you are a natural, you already know that battle, okay? You already know that battle. And I remember I got out the shower, and the person had called me. I think they called me. Somehow we got on the phone. And I was like, hey, like, you still want to go out? Everything good? They were like, yeah. They was like, I'm a little tired because, this situation happened last night, and I was up really, really late. And I was like, oh, like, I know I would be tired if I were you in this situation. Again, you sure? Because when I beat this space, ain't no takebacks. They were like, nah, we're good. I said, okay, cool. Get off the phone. I'll go put my phone on the charger. I'm listening to music. Ladies, we know the whole vibe. We know the whole vibe when you're getting dressed, right? You're doing your hair, you're doing your makeup, you got the music going, you got the playlist, you in there vibing. It's a whole vibe. I'm in there vibing. My phone is in the other room on the charger. I finished that. I was like, ooh, let me get my phone. Let me take some pictures. I'm going to pick up my phone, and I see I have a missed call from this person, and I see also I have a text from this person. Mind you, I am about to take pictures to leave out. And this ain't no photo shoot or nothing, just a few selfies to put on social media, child. Like, nothing crazy. So it may have been like a 40-minute drive for me to get to this place. So I may have been maybe 50 minutes out. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna take a few pictures, get in my car, and go. So I'll get there. Oh wait, let me I'll have to back up. Now this friend, I'm not gonna say anything bad about this friend, because I'm not saying anything bad about this friend. It was a great friendship. I always had a great time. We always had a good time when we were together. It was a key. It was a time. A time was had every time that we were together. This friend also was notoriously late. They were always late. And I'm not talking about the little 10, 15 minute, maybe even 20-minute late. It was 45 minutes, maybe to an hour late. And it was to the point where if we said we were meeting at 3, I knew they weren't getting there till about 4. So I wouldn't leave my place till about 3, maybe 3:15, in the hopes that I would get there to about 4, around 4 o'clock, and they would still probably be late, maybe another 10, 15 minutes. But it was so bad. And I know you may say, Tanisha, why were you accepting them being late? Listen, Linda. I was a people pleaser. I was afraid of confrontation. I was afraid to have these conversations with someone because I was afraid they were going to reject me. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to feel that I was enough. I wanted to feel that I was worthy of this friendship. I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to accept me. And that is the foundation of being a people pleaser. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid to say no. You want the approval of everyone. You're seeking that outside approval, that external validation. So it's saying, see me, accept me, love me, be my friend because I'm a great person. I'm a good person. And me accepting all of those things was me just proving or auditioning to be a friend. It's me trying to prove that I'm a good person. Me trying to prove that I'm worthy of friendship. That's not me no more. We passed that. But I had to get there, right? And I would joke and be like, oh, 3 o'clock, I already know you're going to get there at 4. So they knew, like, yeah, like we both knew that they were always late. So, former friend, right? So I pick up my phone so I can take a few pictures to head out because it's like, ooh, like I got to hurry up and get on the road so I can get there on time. But we made a reservation. So with reservations, they're not playing with you. You got a 10 to 15 minute grace period and it's on to the next one. So I knew, okay, we can't be too late with a reservation. So this person has to be on time because it's a reservation. Pick up the phone, look at it, I see the missed call, I see the text. Text said something like, hey, I really am exhausted from, last night or whatever. Let's reschedule for next weekend or let's reschedule for another day or something. What? Excuse me, say what? Oh, my flabbers were gasted. What do you mean? And I just stood there for a second looking at the phone like, did I not? Just a few hours ago, did I not? Did I not ask you if you wanted to reschedule? Did I not ask you if you wanted to reschedule? Did I not say like, hey, I would be tired if I was in that situation. Are you sure you don't want to reschedule? Because I felt like I had given this person an opportunity, a few chances to get out of jail free, a few chances to have that exit, a few chances to say, you know what, you're right, T. Tanisha, you're right. Yeah, let's reschedule for next weekend. And I wouldn't have gotten dressed or zhuzhed up or anything like that. I don't know, okay, cool. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal because I gave you that exit and you would have taken it. But that person didn't take it. That person was like, no, I'm good. And waited until moments before I left to then cancel on me. Now the old me would have been hurt. The old me would have made excuses. I get it. I understand you're tired. Yeah, let's reschedule for next Saturday. Does next Sunday work for you? Or what about this time? And yada, yada, yada. I wish you would have told me sooner. That would have been the old me. New me? Tanisha now? Tanisha then? Because this is after this pivotal trip, right? So I literally looked at it and was just kind of like, wow, bet, okay. I'm still going out because I done got dressed. I've done my hair, I've done my makeup. I went to a local spot in my area where I didn't have to go that far. And I had food, I had drinks, I had a good time. I sat on the patio. I still had a great time because again, at this point, I had gotten used to going out and being by myself and being comfortable by myself. So there was no problem with me going out and being by myself. I had a great time. At the restaurant, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how do I want to respond to this person? Because at first I thought, well, no response will be a response. I'm just going to block them and they'll just figure it out. But I was like, nah, because that's still avoiding confrontation. That's still avoiding conflict. Because again, as a people pleaser, you want to avoid conflict. You want to avoid confrontation because it's not comfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. Anything that makes me uncomfortable, I'm going to avoid it. So I'm just going to not have those conversations. But I want it to be different. I just got back from being on holiday. Like, I am a new person. I'm new and improved, and I got boundaries. The boundaries are here, I said something along the lines of, sure you're exhausted, I would have been exhausted too, which is why I offered you or gave you the opportunity to reschedule hours before I got dressed. Waiting to the last minute, like that's unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. And I think I said something along the lines of, I feel like I'm not valued in this friendship, and so therefore I no longer want to continue this friendship. Take care, best of luck, well wishes. It was something to that extent. But I do remember saying like, I no longer want to participate in this friendship, or I no longer want to be in this friendship. Because here's the thing with me, what I've learned with my boundaries are for you. Boundaries are not for that other person. So you can't dictate or control how a person is going to be. You can't control what they're going to do. You can't control how they're going to act. You can't control how they're going to react, their emotions. But what you can control, what you are responsible for, is yourself. You're responsible for how you react. You're responsible for your emotions, right? As a people pleaser, we hold it in, 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 we hold it in. And as we're holding it in, it's just pressure building up, building up, building up, building up. Next thing you know, because we're just getting resentful, and then we explode, and then we going off, and everybody confused because they don't know what just happened. Why is she going off? Why did she just? What just happened? And it looks like it comes out of nowhere, but we've been brewing on this for 6 months now, and we just ain't said nothing. I've been brewing on this for a while, so I could have chosen the, oh, you got me messed up. You could have just said this and this and I had a few drinks, right? And I was like, why am I getting myself worked up over that? Why would I make myself upset? Why would I upset myself? That don't make no sense. I can control how I respond to this. So I said, I don't want to participate in this anymore, because all me doing that whole you should have done this and this is messed up and you got me messed up and I can't believe you did, all that would have done would made that person defensive. They would have gotten defensive and they would have came back, and now we back and forth. Now we back and forth, back and forth. And what I do love about this person's response, they said something along the lines with, I'm really sorry that I canceled last minute. I didn't realize I was as tired as I was until I started trying to get ready. I love you. I appreciate our friendship. But I respect your wishes, I respect your boundaries, or something like that. And they put like the little sad face, and a part of me, I wanted to cave right then and there, like, okay. That would have been the people pleaser in me. But it was like, not only do you set boundaries, you have to enforce the boundaries, right? So if I'm saying that I no longer want to participate in this friendship, what good does it do if I turn around and go, okay, everything's cool now, everything's fine. All I did was teach them. She don't mean that. She's just talking. She don't mean none of this. She say all that, and she just gonna bend, and she will bend, and you can walk right back over her. I felt like the trip, my international trip, my solo trip for my birthday, was kind of like that final exam, right? But I felt like that situation, that friendship, that I feel like that was like one final test. Maybe the bonus points, right? Maybe the bonus questions at the end were like, can you pass this? Because it's easy to put these boundaries in place and just set them and just say them. But it's a little different when you got to enforce them, right? So I said all that to say, setting boundaries, sometimes it doesn't have to be this big drama, this big conflict, this big confrontation. Sometimes setting boundaries is just this quiet realization that I deserve better. I deserve more. I am enough, and I come to that realization when I was on that trip. And I wasn't on that trip sad or like, oh, I wish people. No, I was on that trip. I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself for taking this trip. And I encourage you, if you're watching this, I encourage you to do something for yourself. I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone, because there is no growth in the comfort zone, right? I encourage you to get out of that comfort zone, to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to start with a simple no, and start celebrating your small wins. I eventually want you to stop relying on outside opinions, on that external validation. And I think over the years, I have been building a life that has become so full of self-respect, so full of self-love and self-improvement and growth, that I realize I don't have room for people pleasing anymore. I'm a person who prioritizes my mental health. I'm a person who puts my peace first. I'm absolutely putting my peace first, because if I'm building this life where it is full of love and it is full of support, it's full of acceptance, it's just good energy, just peace. And no, it doesn't mean every day is going to be great. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I've learned how to navigate these things with boundaries. Because once you realize that you control the access to people who come in and out of your life, you will start to rethink a lot of your friendships. You will start to rethink a lot of the relationships that you have in your life and that you allow into your personal life. So again, this page is all about self-love, self-growth, self-improvement, no longer people-pleasing, choosing yourself and putting yourself first. So if that is something that you are on a journey of as well, as that is something that you want someone to help guide you along this journey, and you want to see me as I continue on this journey, I'm your girl. I'm Tanisha Richey. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and I will meet you down in the comments. And I will see you next Sunday. Bye.